Well, first of all, how were you as a student in school?
I was a mediocre student.
Yeah.
I I wouldn't say I was bored, but I'm a very visual learner and not auditory, and I really got to
Right.
work hard to like understand and read and retain it. Remember, it's like the only grade I got straight A's was third grade. My third grade teacher was hot. Yeah. No, I mean I was a mediocre student.
Yeah.
You know, I did okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked math. I hated science.
Right.
Yeah. Like but yeah, I don't say I bounced around schools. I did a public elementary, a Catholic private middle school, the first 2 years of high school private, and the last 2 years of high school public.
Right.
And yeah, I had to work hard in school to be average.
You were just bored with whatever they were teaching.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on it, especially looking at my youngest son too, it was like I didn't really fully apply myself. I had to do it. I did. I won't say the minimum, but the average amount of work to get by.
Right.
Yeah.
And you played sports in school?
From a young age, my parents got me into swimming. I think half because every parent doesn't want their kid to drown.
Right.
And for me to be comfortable in the water was definitely a win, and they didn't have to be concerned about that. So from a pretty young age, I started like swimming at a club team, and going from beginning of swimming maybe 3 times a week, like 3 practices a week to 8 practices a week, doing doubles 2 different days. Swimming was kind of the main thing for a long time. And I was competitive in nature and good eye-hand coordination, but
Right.
it was a lot, and I learned a lot. I enjoyed it, and I loved the water. So being in a pool, and it correlated really well with surfing. Got into surfing. I was in second grade.
Oh wow, that young, huh?
Yeah, my godfather died, and so I got a surfboard. And
Hold on. You got willed a surfboard, or you inherited a surfboard
well, I actually asked for it.
after he died.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, like my godparents at that time were good friends with my parents.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he had like a car on blocks. He was changing the oil and didn't set the blocks, and
Oh,
the
wow.
car rolled back and rolled on him and killed him.
Jesus.
I was young enough and like just innocent enough. Like I was like, well, "What are you doing with this surfboard?" I didn't mean to be disrespectful or
Oh
anything
yeah.
about it.
I mean,
But she was like, "I'd love for you to have it." And my parents would take me to Ocean View on the weekends.
yeah.
So I took it down there and caught my first wave down there. My parents actually got a picture of it, so they have a picture of my first wave.
At second grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
All that.
from my understanding, you had quite a athletic childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And did you do competitions with surfing, or how deep did you get into surfing?
Well, I'd say swimming was the number one competitive sport that I did.
Okay.
Everything else was second. Surfing, I enjoyed, and it's the thing I've done the longest to today.
Mm-hmm.
I did a few contests, but I mean, it's like you do anything new, you're not getting coached on it. You're passionate about surfing, but competing, even to today, is a different animal. But even back then, I mean, Kelly Slater was in his heyday. Not that he isn't today, because he's still winning world contests and events.
Mm-hmm.
But competing surfing, I wasn't good at. I just didn't know how to compete in the contest. It was like, well, I'm going to ride waves and do whatever I like doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it off and on, kind of in my younger ages. I say younger ages, probably 8 to 14 or something.
Right.
Virginia Beach isn't really conducive to consistent great surf.
Waves.
By any means, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, surfing was always a therapy and a spot to relax where I didn't have to be worried about being competitive in the water or anything like that. But I always pushed my own limits. I always wanted to catch bigger and bigger and bigger waves any
Mm-hmm.
chance I got, even if it was just on the East Coast. But at a young age too, my parents would always go camping down in Hatteras in North Carolina
Mm.
and would go surfing down there. The hurricanes would come and get some bigger swells and surf. I mean, I look back on it. My dad, I was in fourth grade, and there was a huge hurricane swell down in Hatteras, and it was to the point where anybody getting out had to go down on the pier in Avon, jump off the pier to get past kind of the second set of waves breaking,
Mm-hmm.
and my parents let me.